Do you remember when this started? It was just like kind of watching the news, and I was getting paranoid just because I'm like, oh geez, I'm already paranoid about the flu and I'm running out of sanitizer, and now there's stuff happening all over the world, and what if it happens here? And now there's these people who have been on cruises and they're coming back here and they have it, and I would just, my brain and everybody else is like, and the news is like, and then all of a sudden everything was closed. I just woke up in the morning and the schools were closed and things were shutting down, and we just stopped life. Good morning, everyone. We are at the mall. We're about to go in. Hi, Pikachu. We have done about half of our schoolwork, and I'm going to be adjusting my mask for a minute. You're too far in the street. Come back. We decided to take an indoor walk today because it is so hot already, and it's nowhere near what it's going to be. I believe it's going to be like 95 with heat indexes around 100 to 105, so yuck. We are going to go get our exercise though. We are back from the mall. As you saw, we took a little detour. I was craving bagels and I thought, hey, I can go by the bagel shop on the way home. My husband was on board with that. I wasn't expecting it to be blocked off, so you just go up to the door and order through the door. It was really weird, but two of our favorite people were there. We waved to them, did our best to order from across the room. Jax was waffling on what to get, but did you make a good choice?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Nine.
Sebastian got bacon and cheese on a bagel. He's kind of eating it deconstructed. And look at this. They hooked him up. That's a mountain of bacon. So we're going to be getting a lot of protein. I like their eggs either on jalapeno or everything. I did everything. My egg is kind of out of control too. So we're gonna enjoy this. Jax has a little more schoolwork. Sebastian, nap is more important, so we'll see how much more we do before nap time. Hey guys, we have had our lunch. Sebastian did a tiny bit of school and most of his playing. We're taking it easy on his stuff today. Brother has a harder day. He could not make it through all of his science. We're still trying to get a handle on how long everything takes. Oh buddy, come clean up the mess you made. Why is there a crunched up cracker in the floor? You gotta pick up all those crumbs.
No.
So give me your boppy.
Okay.
Because you don't get it if you're refusing to clean up your crumbs.
Okay.
Thank you, buddy. What a nice boy you are. Yeah, we're still getting a handle on how long the assignments take. His Tuesday science went so fast, I was like, okay, so this is fine. We could put it all on one day, but I guess the lesson was a lot longer today, and there's just no way he could make it through. It was going to be like an hour and a half or something for everything. So I just had him do half of that, and I'll move the rest to tomorrow. He has history, which is ancient Greece, and today's assignment was about democracy. I guess he had a lot of reading to do and a little assignment, and now he has a quiz, which I guess he didn't read well enough because he bombed it. He got 50%. So that automatically triggers a redo, but it wouldn't let him redo it. You click on the redo button and it just popped up his answers. So looking in their forums, it says clear your cache. So I tried to clear the cache and that didn't work. Tried to clear the cache and quit the browser. That didn't work. Tried like 10 times doing this. Tried opening it on the iPad, clicking the button to redo it, wouldn't even do anything. Finally, what worked was logging out of his school site, emptying the cache, closing the browser, logging out of his Google Chromebook, waiting for that to restart, logging back in, logging back into his school site, and finally it let him do it. So he's down there, and then immediately he's like, they never told me this one. Yes they did. They only ask you things that are in the lesson. So he might be doing that again. So now we are up here way too late after figuring that up. Yeah, I'm not expecting anything except junk mail today. We are gonna start nap. I don't know what the rest of the day holds. So far on those label resizes, one artist has sent a couple previews of their expanded artwork, which I approved. So I'm expecting to get the high-res versions of those, so I'll be able to do those 2 labels. And yeah, I've got a lot ahead of me on that whole project. I don't have a concrete deadline, so I'll probably have to figure that out. Anyway, I'm feeling a little frazzled because we were out for so long and then trying to get this school thing going. But tomorrow should be a quieter day. School should be a little easier since we won't be interrupted by a trip to the mall or something, but it was nice to get out. We got a lot of steps in, right? Yeah, but I'm exhausted. I stay up really late, but I'm getting up a little earlier to try and get them on a school year routine, so I'm getting very little sleep. So I think I may take a little nap partway through your nap, right? He doesn't like if I go to sleep right at the beginning of nap, so I have to wait till he's asleep. So we'll do that. I'll get some knitting done hopefully too, and maybe open my Animal Crossing town later tonight for people because I have turnips. They're buying turnips in my town for a really good price. So we'll see you on the other side of nap. Hello everyone, we are getting ready for bed. It is 9:29. Not doing too bad. Let's just go over our day. I don't know what I have filmed. As always, I will find out very soon. Once Sebastian's trying to get to sleep, I start working on this beside him with my headphones on. So we got up. I'm slowly trying to get us more on our school year schedule. I was thinking the county schools were starting their distance learning year today, because back when I set our schedule, I had looked up the Loudoun County calendar just to see what they were going to do. I was planning on starting this week just because we like to start early and end early and take our vacations when we want to take them. But I saw so many kids out today, so I was like, well, that's weird. I don't know what their distance learning is like, if it's synchronous or asynchronous. These are all these words I keep seeing on articles and on Facebook. Like, they're either scheduled to be there in front of the screen at a certain time or not. But I looked tonight over dinner and they changed the start date to September 8th. That is crazy. Our county always starts really early. Last year's start date for them was August 22nd, so that's weird. I'm guessing that because our county typically builds like 15 to 19 days into our calendar for snow days, that they just didn't do that this year. You don't need a snow day when everybody's at home. I don't know if the teachers are going to be working out at the schools or from home. Maybe a combination of the two. But yeah, they've got a lot more summer left and we are at it. But the first week of October we will be going out of town on a vacation. I gave him a week off for Thanksgiving and then 2 weeks off for Christmas. So there might be stuff in the spring. We're just gonna have to see how it goes. We normally go to California in like September and February. We're not going in September, that's for sure. And I'm guessing February's still off. Do you remember when this started? It was just like kind of watching the news, and I was getting paranoid just because I'm like, oh geez, I'm already paranoid about the flu and I'm running out of sanitizer, and now there's stuff happening all over the world, and what if it happens here? And now there's these people who have been on cruises and they're coming back here and they have it, and I would just, my brain and everybody else is like, and the news is like, and then all of a sudden everything was closed. I just woke up in the morning and the schools were closed and things were shutting down, and we just stopped life. I didn't go to class, gym class. I remember my friend messaging me and was like, hey, do you want to get the kids together since school's closed? I'm like, no, we're not going anywhere anymore. This is lockdown. And then maybe a couple weeks later, our state announced the huge shutdown, and they're like, till June 12th. And this was like March, the end of March, maybe early April, and we were just like, June 12th? But hi, hello, August. We're almost done with you, and yeah, a few things have opened. They even have dining in restaurants here at 50% and social distancing, but you know what? There's no way I would eat anything inside because I need my mask on. The kids are allowed to have straw drinks under their mask when we're indoors, but no food at all. Sebastian's allowed to take his mask off if he's in the stroller and we're walking outdoors, and I keep the stroller away from people. But yeah, it's just crazy. I don't even know what I was talking about. Somehow I'm just like reminiscing about the last 6 months. But let's start over, because what the hell did I just talk about? Breakfast. We started doing some school. I wanted to go to the mall and just get like 3,000, 4,000 steps in. We did 2 full laps. They complain a lot, but GameStop doesn't open until noon. So if we get there at like 11, I can get them to walk for the full hour doing 2 loops of the mall without complaints because they're waiting for GameStop to open. So we did that. And GameStop's one of the only places I let them go in. We had done our 2 laps and there's still like 10 minutes left, so I let them look in the bookstore a little bit. But Sebastian was starting to touch the toys they had in there, so I'm like, all right, we gotta get out of here. So when we were leaving the mall after getting all our steps in, it was noon, a little after noon, and I just really wanted the bagel shop. I miss our Fridays where we would go to the library, then we would go to straight from the library to our bagel shop, and we would order. We would always have stuffed dog Benny with us. We'd order our food and sit in one of their little tables. It was a tiny little shop, but they had a couple little tables. We'd sit there and eat our lunch, and then we would drive straight from there over to gym class, and Sebastian would have his gym class. I would do knitting while I watched. Jax would play some games and talk with the toddler siblings that would be there, and then we would head home and do nap time. And I just really wanted the bagel shop. Both bagels sounded good, and I'm just like, I miss my bagel shop. So I offered to go to the bagel shop on the way home. We have gotten it a handful of times delivered, but it was slightly on the way. So my husband's like, yes, I would tear up a sandwich from the bagel shop. So I managed to find my way there. I've never driven there from the mall, and even though I know all these places, I'm not good at connecting things, but I made it. And I knew that they didn't have any dining in because it's tiny. They wouldn't be able to socially distance. Like, every table would be too close to the checkout line and too close to anyone else. They didn't even have their outdoor tables anymore. It just said takeout and delivery. But we get up there, you don't even go in. They have the doors blocked with tables, and you open the door when you're ready to order. And of course, this threw the kids off. They're trying to see the bagels across the room. People walk up immediately after we open the door, and Jackson's like, or I don't know what I want. And eventually we order. They hand us the food. You're fine. It's only 9:37. You can do whatever ones you want, but brother has to want to read them, okay? So we got our food and we took it home. It was much more fresh than when we get it delivered. I think they make multiple stops when we get it delivered.
I'm going to give you a gift from Kobe.
Okay, we'll see. And we enjoyed that. A little bit more school was done, but I just decided to call it a light day for Sebastian. Jax had a lot. As I said, we're trying to figure out a good balance of that science course because it is way more learning. Like, he had it gives estimates on the time because there's no separate parent section for this course. If I go into my parent portal and click to see his progress in the course, it puts me into his view, and his view says estimated times for things, and he said there was like a 25-minute activity that took him 45 minutes. I think that's very fair. It's a course for 6th through 8th grade, and he is just starting 5th grade. I think that's fine, and it's not a very exciting chapter. It's basics of science and scientific method. I can see how he'd be a little slow on that, so I'm fine with that. I just told him to break that up. Since it doesn't really fully link in with his plan, it's fine. I have to manually check off what he does anyway. So we'll just make it through this chapter this week and get it all checked off. What did we do after that? We did not take a walk. It was so hot. I let Sebastian play, and I took care of some things on my computer. I was like falling asleep at my computer at 2:30. It was ridiculous, but I didn't nap with him. He had me read him 2 books at nap time that were so long. It took half an hour to read all that. And then he napped very nicely. It's a little touchy at the beginning again, but he fell asleep. He seems to think that he needs to fall asleep within like seconds. And if he doesn't, he's like, I can't sleep. And he wants to get up. I'm like, it takes time. You gotta calm down. You gotta think happy, calm thoughts and just close your eyes and relax your body. And eventually it works, but... So when he was starting to wake up, it was like 5:30, but he wanted to use my Animal Crossing and move my little character around. So I let him do that. My husband had messaged that he was on his way to his eye doctor's appointment, which, by the way, he says it sucked. Having to have your exam with a mask on, he was just fogging up his glasses, fogging up all the machines and the little turny lens things they do. Every 2 seconds, the doctor would have to clean everything because it's all fogged up. And then trying on glasses with a mask on. So I'm overdue for everything, literally everything. Dentists, doctors, eye doctors, everybody's overdue for everything because it's just scary. But yeah, apparently that sucked. I think he wanted to get everything updated before our trip. But I've had these same glasses for years. He was heading out and he gave me a heads up at 6 that he'd be home in half an hour and I should start cooking soup. So we headed downstairs and I cooked up a big old pot of soup. It's always just like a tomato base and I just add whatever. Today I added kidney beans, cannellini beans, garbanzo beans, macaroni noodles, yellow squash, carrots, and celery. Tons of garlic, some black pepper, a little bit of salt, and then like most of the flavors from Italian herbs and the garlic and the pepper. A little bit of, I salt it to my level, which is probably not salty at all for people. And then my husband and I put red pepper flakes in ours. I think it tastes great even without the red pepper flakes. I find canned soup to just taste like a bowl of wet salt. It cannot. It's just terrible. It's so salty, even though like the reduced sodium, so salty. So I enjoy my soup. I don't know if everybody else will, but my whole family likes it, except for Jax. He won't even taste it. My husband got home and I immediately made him make the grilled cheeses to go with it. I just eat some bread that I dunk in, but they have grilled cheeses. Jax has that as his meal. Yeah, and then we took a walk. It had finally cooled off. The weather was trying to tell me the heat index was still 91, but since the sun had set, it felt great. I could have even worn my sweater, but I left it at home thinking it was still sweltering. So we got a lot more steps in. I came in at 9,000 steps so far for the day. Right after I rolled in, I ironed all the perler beads. Everybody had a lot, and Jax wanted to start more things. Then it was pretty much bedtime. I had enough time to eat a couple Oreos and drink some coffee, and then it was time to get them up here. And now they're probably going to be done really soon. It's 9:43. I've been talking to you for 1,000,000 minutes at least. So it's time for me to get changed too. Good night, guys. Please stay safe. Please be safe. Good night, guys. Wash your hands.